Welcome to Learn English Speaking. Let's talk stories. Here we bring you amazing stories to improve your English fluency. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting lessons. Let's learn together.
Chapter 4. Emil's friends make a plan. At last, the man in the black hat got off the tram. Emil picked up his case and the flowers, thanked the man with the newspaper, and followed the thief. The thief walked in front of the tram, crossed the road, and continued on the other side. The tram moved away, and Emil saw the man go into a cafe. Now, thought Emil, I must be very careful. There was a house at the corner of the road. He ran into the doorway. It was a good place to hide. From there, he could see the thief easily. Mr. Green was sitting close to the cafe window. He was looking very pleased with himself. He ordered some coffee. Emil didn't know what to do. I can't stay here and watch the man. A policeman will come along and tell me to move, he thought. Suddenly, a horn sounded just behind Emil. He jumped and turned round quickly. A boy stood there, laughing at him. "Don't be afraid," said the boy. "Did you make that loud noise?" asked Emil. "Of course," said the boy. "You're not from here, are you? Everyone here knows me and my horn. I always carry it with me." "No, I'm not from here," said Emil. "I'm from Newton. I've just come from the station." "Newton? From the country? Is that why you're wearing those silly clothes?" "Don't talk like that, or I'll hit you," said Emil angrily. The other boy looked surprised. "I don't want to fight," he said. "It's too hot. But I will if you want to." "I haven't got time to fight now," said Emil. "I'm busy." "Busy? You aren't doing anything, just standing in this doorway." "Yes, I am," Emil answered. "I'm watching a thief." "What? Did you say thief?" "That's right," said Emil. He told the boy about losing all his money. "Well, this is wonderful," said the boy as Emil finished the story. "It's like a detective film at the cinema. What are you going to do next?" "I don't know." "Look, there's a policeman over there. Let's tell him. He'll help you." "I don't think so," said Emil. "I did something wrong in Newton. I think the police want to catch me." "Oh, I see," said the boy. He thought for a minute, then said, "I'll help you, if you want me to." "I'd like that," said Emil. "My name's Paul," said the boy. "And mine's Emil." "Well, Emil," said Paul, "we must do something. Have you got any money now?" "Not a penny." Paul sounded his horn softly. It usually helped him think, but it didn't help this time. "Can you bring some of your friends here?" asked Emil. "Good idea," said Paul. "I'll run round to their houses and sound my horn. Then they'll come out and help us." "OK, but come back soon," said Emil. "If the thief leaves, I'll have to follow him. Then you won't know where I am." "That's true. But I don't think the man will leave yet. He's eating some eggs." Paul ran off. Emil felt much happier. Friends are a great help when you're in trouble. Emil watched the thief. He was enjoying his meal. Perhaps he was paying for the food with Mrs. Fisher's money. But things were different now. Emil had help at last. 10 minutes later, Emil heard the horn again. He saw about 20 boys coming up the road towards him. Paul was in front. "What do you think of this?" he asked Emil. "Great," said Emil, looking at all the boys. "I've told them what happened," Paul continued. He turned to the other boys. "This is Emil, and the man who stole his money is sitting in that cafe. He mustn't escape." "We'll soon catch him," said a boy with a loud voice. "This is the captain," Paul said. He then told Emil the names of all the other boys. "Well," said the captain wisely, "we must begin. First, everyone must give me their money." Each boy threw his money into Emil's cap. A very small boy, called Little Tuesday, put 5 pence into the cap. He was very excited, because it was his job to count the money. "We have 85 pence, Little Tuesday reported. 3 of us will keep the money. If we can't stay together, there'll always be someone with money." "Good idea," said the captain. He and Emil each kept 20 pence. Paul took the rest. Emil thanked everyone and said, "I'll return the money after we catch the thief. But I can't do much with this case and these flowers. I'd like to leave them somewhere safe." "Give them to me," said Paul. "I know the man who owns that cafe. I'll leave them with him. And I'll have a good look at the thief while I'm there." "Be careful," said the captain. "We don't want the thief to know you're watching him." When Paul came back, Emil said, "Now I think we should have a meeting, but not here. Everyone can see us." "We'll go over to the square and sit on the grass," said the captain. "But some boys must stay here and watch the thief. They can be the watchers. 2 can watch the cafe, and 5 or 6 others can stand along the road. If anything happens, they can run to the square. Then we'll come back here." "I'll choose the watchers," Paul said to Emil and the captain. "And I'll stay here too and watch the cafe. You take the rest of the boys with you. Hurry, it's getting late now." Paul chose the boys that he needed. The rest went to the square with Emil and the captain. They sat down on 2 long seats in the middle of the square by the grass. They all looked very serious. Then the captain began to speak in a loud voice. His father was a soldier and always spoke like that when he gave orders. "It's possible," the captain said, "that later we won't be able to stay together. If that happens, we'll need a telephone. Who has a telephone at home that they can use?" "I have," Little Tuesday called out. "My family's out at the cinema tonight." "And what's your telephone number?" the captain asked. The captain thought for a minute. He turned to a boy named John. "Take this pencil and paper. Cut the paper into 20 pieces. Write Little Tuesday's telephone number clearly on each piece. Then give everyone a piece of paper with the number on it. Little Tuesday's house can be our telephone office. Our detectives must telephone that office when anything new happens. And when we want to know the news, we can telephone that number too." "But I'm not at home," said Little Tuesday. "No, but you will be," the captain answered. "Listen to me. We'll finish talking, and then you'll go home and sit by the telephone. It's very important work." John gave out the pieces of paper. Each boy put his piece carefully in his pocket. The captain continued. "Some of you must follow the thief, but the others must stay here in the square. Then we'll know where you are. We'll find you if we need you. You can go home now. Tell your families that you'll be very late tonight, but one after the other, not all at the same time. John, you can go home with little Tuesday. Run back here when there's something to report. I think that's all, isn't it?"
"We'll need something to eat," said Emil.
5 boys ran off to get some food.
"I think you're all being silly," said a boy called Peter. "You're talking about food and telephones, but we need to talk about catching this thief. How are we going to catch him?"
"Can we get his fingerprints?" said a boy who read a lot of detective stories.
"Of course
not," said John. "We can only hope to get back the money that he's stolen." "But if we steal the money from him," said the captain, "we'll be thieves too."
"That's right," said Emil. "It's wrong to take something from someone if he doesn't know about it."
"Okay, we've talked enough," said the captain. "Now let's do something. We don't know yet how we're going to catch this man, but one thing's sure, he must give back the money."
"I didn't understand what you said about stealing," said little Tuesday. "How can I steal something that belongs to me? I own it, even if it is in another person's pocket."
"You're too young," said the captain. "You can't understand."
"Are you sure we can all be good detectives?" asked Peter. "We don't want the thief to know what's happening. He'll escape." "Yes, we'll need some good detectives," cried little Tuesday. "That's why you need me. I can be a wonderful police dog, too. I can make a noise like a dog."
Nobody listened to him.
"Perhaps the thief has a gun," said Peter. "Then we need brave detectives," said Emil. "If anyone's afraid, they can go home to bed." Nobody moved. "There's one more thing," Emil continued. "I must send news to my grandmother. She doesn't know where I am. She'll go to the police, and we don't want that. Can someone take a letter to 15 Bridge Street for me?"
"I'll do it,"
said a boy called Robert. Emil asked for a pencil and paper. He wrote, "Dear Grandmother, you probably want to know where I am. Please don't worry. I am in the city. I cannot see you yet because I have some important business. But when everything is finished, I will come. Do not ask what this business is. The boy who is bringing you this letter is a friend. He knows where I am, but he cannot tell you because it is a secret. Give my love to Uncle, Aunt, and Polly. Your loving grandson, Emil." Emil wrote the number of the house and the name of the street on the other side of the paper. Robert took it. The captain gave him the money for his tram ticket, and Robert hurried away. The 5 boys came back with the food. Emil gave some food to each of the detectives. Some of the boys were still at home. Their families did not want them to come out again. The captain gave them all a secret word. The word was Emil, because it was easy to remember. When they phoned little Tuesday, they had to say this word first. If a caller knew the word, they were a friend. The captain turned to little Tuesday. "Please telephone my father. Tell him that I have some important business. I won't be home until late." "All right," said little Tuesday. He went home, taking John with him. "Won't your father be angry?" asked Emil in surprise. "My father knows I'm sensible," answered the captain. "I've promised him that I'll never do anything wrong. I can do what I like, but I mustn't break that promise." "Why aren't all fathers like that?" said Peter. The captain turned to the rest of the boys. "I'll leave my money here," he said. "We have enough without it. Gerald, you must be the chief. Wait here until we send for you. John will come from little Tuesday's house if we need help. Are there any more questions? Is everything clear? Our secret word is Emil. Don't forget." "Secret word, Emil," the boys cried loudly. All the people in the square looked at them with surprise. Emil was really enjoying himself now. "I'm almost glad that thief stole my money," he thought. Chapter 5. Following the Thief. 3 of the watchers ran into the square waving their arms. This was the sign. Mr. Green was leaving the cafe. "Let's go," the captain cried, and he, Emil, and 3 other boys ran back to Paul. He was waiting for them in the doorway of the house. The thief was standing outside the cafe, buying a newspaper. He opened the newspaper and began to read. "He's looking over the top of the newspaper. He wants to see if anyone's watching him," said Emil. "I watched him very carefully," said Paul, "and he didn't look at me once. He just continued eating." The thief put the newspaper in his pocket and looked around him. A taxi came past. He shouted, and it stopped. He got in, shut the door, and the taxi drove away. The boys got into another taxi. "Follow that taxi," Paul said to the driver. "Follow it carefully, please. The man inside mustn't see us. We're following him." "What's the matter?" the taxi driver asked. "It's a secret," Paul said. "The man's done something wrong." "All right. But have you got any money?" "Of course." They drove through the streets. A few people looked surprised when they saw so many boys in one taxi. "Down! Down!" Paul said in a low voice. The boys threw themselves on the floor of the taxi. "What's the matter?" asked the captain. "The traffic lights are red. We can't move until they change. The other taxi's stopped too, and we're just behind it. If the man turns round, he'll see." The driver looked round at the boys and began to laugh. Then the lights changed to green. The boys got off the floor and sat in their seats again. "I hope this isn't going to be a long journey," said the captain. He was thinking about the money. But soon the first taxi stopped in a square at the door of a hotel. The thief got out, paid the driver, and went into the hotel. "Follow him, Paul," said the captain. "If the hotel has another door, he'll escape." Paul ran after the thief, and the other boys got out of the taxi. Emil paid the driver. Then they followed the captain through a gateway and into a large courtyard behind a cinema. The captain sent a boy called Tony after Paul. "I hope the thief stays in that hotel," Emil said. We can watch him easily from here. This courtyard is a wonderful place for our head office."
"Yes, and it's near the trams and the post office telephones too,"
the captain agreed. He sat on a seat in the courtyard. He looked very serious, like someone who was planning a war. Paul came back. "The thief took a room in the hotel," he said excitedly. "And there's only one way out. I checked. We've got him."
"Is Tony watching the hotel?"
the captain asked. "Of course." The captain gave a boy called Walter some money.
"Phone little Tuesday," he said.
Walter ran to the post office. "Is that you, Tuesday?" "Speaking," little Tuesday replied. "Secret word, Emil. Walter speaking. The thief is staying at the West End Hotel, Princess Square. Our head office is in the courtyard behind the West End Cinema." Little Tuesday wrote everything down very carefully, and then Walter told him about the taxi journey. "Why can't I be there with you?" little Tuesday said. He felt sad and lonely sitting by the telephone. "Have any of the others phoned you?" "No." "Okay, goodbye for now." Walter went back to the courtyard. It was getting late. "I'm sure we won't catch him today," said Paul. The boys thought deeply for some time. The sky was growing dark. They weren't sure what to do next. Suddenly, they heard a bell. It was coming nearer. A shining new bicycle came into the courtyard. A girl was riding it, and behind her was Robert. Emil jumped up and said, "That's my cousin." "Well, Emil," Polly began, "we were just going to the station to meet the next train from Newton. Then your friend Robert arrived with the letter. You have some very nice friends." Robert looked pleased. "And now," Polly continued, "Father and Mother and Grandmother are probably asking where I am. I didn't tell them anything. I just left the house with Robert. We phoned your office and spoke to little Tuesday. And so here we are. But I must go back home now." "Were the family angry with me?" asked Emil. "No. Grandmother just talked and talked until Father and Mother told her to be quiet." Polly stood up. "I hope you catch your thief tomorrow. Who's your chief detective?" "This boy," said Emil. "He's the captain." "I'm pleased to meet a real detective," said Polly. The captain looked proud of himself. "And now I must go," Polly said. "I'll come back in the morning. Goodbye." Polly rang the bell on her bicycle and rode away. Time passed slowly. Emil went to see Walter and Tony, the two boys who were guarding the hotel. Then he went to the hotel, looked in, and went back to the courtyard. "We can't go home," he said. "Someone should stay and watch for us. There's a boy in the hotel who works in the lift. Let's speak to him. Perhaps he'll help us."
"That's a good idea," said the captain. "You're not as silly as most people from the country."
"City people don't know everything," Emil replied. He felt a little angry. The other boys didn't want the thief to see Emil, so Paul went to speak to the lift boy. Emil and the captain went out of the courtyard. They stood by the gateway eating bread and butter. It was nearly night time. Electric lights shone everywhere. The noise of trams, bicycles, and taxis seemed even louder now. There was dance music coming from the West End Hotel. Crowds of people were going into the cinema. "The city is wonderful, of course," Emil said, "but I wouldn't like to live here all the time. Newton is much smaller, but it's big enough for me. There's too much noise here."
"I like the city," said the captain, "and if you live here, you don't notice the noise."
About an hour later, Peter and a number of other boys came into the courtyard. They were carrying a lot of food. The captain was very angry.
"What are you doing here?" he shouted. "I told you to stay in the square."
"Don't shout," said Peter. "We want to know what's happening here." "John didn't come from Little Tuesday's house with any news," said Gerald, "so we thought something was wrong. That's why we came."
"How many boys are in the square?"
asked the captain. 3 or 4, said one of the boys. "No, I think there are only 2, said another.
"That's enough," shouted the captain. "Is there anyone in the square?"
"Stop shouting," said Peter. "You can't tell us what to do."
"I don't think you should be a detective," said the captain. "We don't want you."
Peter said some rude words and went away. A boy came through the gateway. He was dressed in green, and there was a green cap on his head.
"Is that the lift boy?"
asked the captain. Nobody answered. The boy came towards them. Suddenly a horn sounded, and the boy in green began to laugh. It was Paul. "Don't you know me?" he asked. Everyone laughed. A window above the courtyard opened, and someone shouted, "Be quiet down there!" The captain looked serious.
"We mustn't make a noise," he said. "Come here, Paul. Why are you dressed like that?"
"Well, I went to the hotel," Paul began, "and the lift boy was standing by the lift. I waved, and he came over to me. I told him everything about Emil and the thief. He wanted to help, so he gave me some of his clothes.
"People will think you're another lift boy," he said. "You can watch the thief. He won't know who you really are."
"And that's why I'm wearing these clothes." "But what about the hotel doorman?" Emil asked. "The lift boy told him about us," replied Paul. "The hotel doorman is the lift boy's father, so it's okay. Now I can stay there all night, and I can take one of you with me too. The thief is in room 61. I went up and stood near the door in these clothes and watched. After about half an hour, he came out and went to the toilet at the end of the corridor. When he came back, I stepped in front of him. 'Is there anything I can do for you, sir?' I asked. 'Oh, yes,' he said. 'Tell them to call me at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Don't forget.' 'Yes, sir,' I said. Then he went back into his room." The captain was very pleased and thanked Paul. Emil thanked him too. Now everyone was very excited about the next day. They were all thinking the same thing. Tomorrow we'll catch the thief.
"We can't do anything more tonight," said the captain. "You can all go home to bed, but you must be back here early tomorrow morning. And try to bring some more money. I'll phone Little Tuesday now and tell him to send the others home."
"I'll go to the hotel with Paul," Emil said. Soon everyone was asleep. Most of the boys were in their beds at home, but not all of them. Paul and Emil were sleeping in a room at the West End Hotel, and little Tuesday was asleep in his father's chair next to the telephone. He was dreaming of hundreds of telephone calls. Some time later, little Tuesday's father and mother came home. They were surprised to find him asleep in a chair. His mother carried him up the stairs. "Secret word, Emil. Secret word, Emil," little Tuesday said in his sleep. Of course, his mother didn't understand.